People tryna say I'm only in the meeting. Got a code with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen. Amen.
Welcome in, everybody. We got Sunday Night Football. As you guys know, this is usually done in YouTube video format, but JJ couldn't record with me today, and two, I had such an awful start today, the amount of brutal beats, that I wasn't in the right headspace to record earlier, and I thought I owed it to you guys to show you the process a little bit, show that even though the results wasn't what we were looking for, there is still a process here, and you get to decide if you trust that process or not. So we're going to get this thing going here in a minute. We got, you guys have access to the comment stuff. Feel free to ask whatever you want, share whatever information you want. I'm going to try and touch on literally everything. As you guys can see on the sidebar, we're going to start off with looking at touchdown analysis, then the run game for both teams, and the passing/receiving game for both teams. I'll open it up to Q&A at the end. I'm going to do it anyways, but just so you guys see that a lot of time if you want to save it for there. And then at the end, like always, we're going to make a parlay. We got 40 minutes until this game starts, if I'm not mistaken. So let me confirm that for you guys. Game starts at 8:20. So we got 40 minutes. We'll get this done in 30. Hit a couple questions in the chat real quick. We got somebody saying to just do all the overs on Seattle. Seattle is a good look today. We'll get into a little bit why I like the Seattle side. How do you feel about Zach Charbonnet receiving yards? I don't hate it. He will always get more receiving work and passing down work than Walker. We'll look into the matchup a little bit as well. Somebody's asking if we can talk NBA real quick. I'm not going to lie. I didn't look too much into NBA today. So if you have a specific question, I can gladly get to it. But if you just want me to cover the slate as a whole, that's going to take longer than covering the Sunday Night Football itself, which is the main purpose of this one. So to be fair to everybody that's tuning in for that, I don't want to get too far off topic. But like I said, if you have a specific question about a specific player or game, I'm happy to answer it. We need to cook today, Prophet. I agree. We need to cook very badly. JSN under yards. Everyone and their mother is on the over. Don't care. The line is up. It's because Cup's out. I understand why. I haven't decided how I feel about it. There's a lot that you guys are going to realize. I wanted this to be like a very raw research process. So there's a lot that I haven't looked into for the sole purpose of saving it for the live stream. Just so you guys can really get a true feel of how this goes. Are you making a lotto? Of course we're making a lotto. We have to. If there's like 17 promos out there, we'll pick a good one. Ertz should have a good game. Yeah, Seattle. I don't know what it is with Seattle. No matter who the coach is, no matter where it's home or away, who's on defense, they've always been bad against tight ends. All right, let's get into it. As you can see, we're starting with touchdown bets. And I'm not going to lie, my process for touchdown bets and me and JJ's process, simpler than you would think. And I need to go look at the exact hit rate with the odds included. Our hit rate on touchdowns is actually fucking insane. So I'm excited to share this for you guys. I think this is simple enough that a lot of you guys can replicate it as well. But one of the things I do, the main things I do, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. My phone's blowing up right now. So one of the first things I do, I go to team rankings and I'll look at opponent rushing touchdown percentage allowed. And basically what this means is if you score 100 touchdowns, how many of them are rushing and how many of them are receiving? As we can see, Seattle, they make life easy. I'll highlight them here. They have the highest or lowest percentage of rushing touchdown percentage allowed. In other words, they're allowing almost exclusively passing touchdowns. They were actually at 0% for a long time this season. It wasn't until recently I think they allowed a couple. So on the Washington side, you want to target either the passing or receiving props when it comes to touchdowns. If we look for Washington, I thought I could find it with this. Washington also a higher percentage of passing touchdowns, although they're a bit closer to the average. The funny thing is if we look at 2024, which doesn't matter as much now, but like the first 2 weeks of the season, we did have to look at it. But they were among the highest percentage of rushing touchdowns in 2024. So a bit weird. Don't want to put too much weight into it. That Seattle side is the one you want to target. As far as who we want to target on each of those, one, you can target the quarterback passing touchdowns. Not a bad idea at all. You guys have seen me and JJ do it. The other thing you can do is you go on Fantasy Points Data. They have their own subscription service, and they have some features that we have not integrated into our website yet. So I'm willing to share that with you guys. And you go to their table, and you look at defense and advanced receiving inside the 20-yard line. So basically, we're looking at what targets are they allowing when they get into the red zone. Are they allowing it to the tight ends, the running backs, the wide receivers? And my mouse stopped working. I'm sorry about that, guys. Oh, I forgot to share this link in the chat as well, or in the Discord chat as well. Let me do that real quick. I'll look over some of your questions while I'm doing that. Oh my goodness, there we go. So we got somebody asking Torrey Horton over 2, or I assume he's asking about the over 2.5 receptions. I don't dislike it. It was one that I circled this morning, and I plan to get into during this video because with Cup out, I actually think Torrey Horton is pretty good at football. JSN can only get so many yards. It's just a matter of how much Seattle actually wants to throw the ball, because there's another thing I'm going to show you guys here. They don't throw it very often. All right, got it sent to the Discord as well. But back to this. So we're looking at defense in the red zone, and we want to look for Washington and Seattle. So let me go pull that up as well. Washington, Seattle. What we're going to do is we go to the end. What percentage of red zone targets do they allow out wide? Not wide receivers, out wide. Not slot receivers, not inline tight end. You are lined up very far from the offensive line. That's what this is referring to. As you can see, neither of these teams rank that highly. They both rank below average, so we don't want any of those players. JSN moves around, so it doesn't directly hurt him. If Terry McLaurin was playing, it would hurt him heavily. But we get into slot. Much of the same. Washington's about average. Seattle doesn't allow much. That hurts Deebo Samuel, for example. So let's get into inline tight ends. Washington ranks very highly. So this means we are looking at the Seattle tight ends. Who's lining up with the offensive line? Those are the guys leaking out and getting the most targets against this defense, and that'll be the tight end. So for Seattle, I'll look up the utilization here as well. Oh, nice. I'm already on Seattle. Hey, you're looking at AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo. Arroyo, his route share has been between 40 and 50% lately. AJ Barner has been more in the 60, 70% range. So if you're looking at one of those guys, AJ Barner is probably the better one to go. And then we can come here, go receiving for Seattle. This is on FTN now. And what I'm going to do is look at red zone targets. If I can find red zone, here we are. So AJ Barner, 5 targets in, let me go to usage. 5 targets in 23 red zone routes. Arroyo, 5 targets as well in 13 routes. So then it becomes a matter of AJ Barner is more likely to be on the field. Arroyo is more likely to be targeted when he is on the field. If we filter for more recent weeks, we can do that as well. Let's check last 4 weeks. Come on. We see 3 targets and 11 routes for Barner, 100% route participation. For Arroyo, only 63% route participation, 2 targets and 7 routes. So I would lean Barner between the two. We can check if the odds are like plus 100 versus plus 900, the value is going to be on Arroyo. But if they're both like plus 200 to plus 400, Barner's the better bet. So that's something that we'll keep in mind as well. And we'll go check the Seattle side as well, or the Washington defense side as well. They're weirdly allowing a lot of targets to players coming out of the backfield, which in theory would be good for the running backs, but Seattle doesn't check down to the running backs that much. So of the other 3, I guess, or Washington, sorry. I probably, oh, that's annoying. So we're looking at this. Let me think for a second. Let me do this and make my life easier. Let's eliminate the backfield targets because those are, I guess those come along more than the tight end ones. So you target a running back. I personally don't like to target running backs with the intention of them getting a target in the red zone. So I'm going to filter those out, and let's see what we're looking at. Monotone betting. How are we doing, brother? If you guys don't follow my boy over here, you need to change that immediately. I have not talked to a single person that doesn't absolutely love this guy. And every interaction I've had with him has only confirmed that. On top of the fact that he's probably the sharpest dude in the space. So definitely go check him out if you haven't already. He's got a Substack as well. Highly recommend if you're not there either. But back to this, because again, we're in the time crunch. Keep forgetting about that. Let me go back to Seattle's defense, because again, they're the ones that allow the higher percentage of touchdowns to be passing touchdowns. Here we go. So if we remove backfield targets altogether, they're 11th highest in out wide targets, 19th in slot percentage, and 18th in inline targets. That's kind of ugly. Not going to lie to you guys. If I want to go since week 4, maybe that'll clear up. Excited to watch my team lose in primetime. You got to be Washington fan then, right? I have to assume. Sam Darnold, longest completion over 36.5. That's butter. That's absolutely going to hit. They're going to throw 20 times and have like 14 yards per play. Just because that's what makes the most sense. All right, so since week 4, targets in the red zone, removing backfield targets, Seattle's 12th versus out wide, 9th versus slot, and 7th lowest versus inline. So basically, you're looking for wide receivers. You're probably looking at Deebo Samuel. We can go check the targets in general as far as who's getting the targets in the red zone. Do the same thing here. Deebo Samuel has had 4 targets on 9 routes. So he's making our decision very easy. When he's on the field, he is the red zone target. Zach Ertz has 2 in 9 routes. But as we saw, tight ends are not what you want to target in the red zone against them. So I'd say Deebo and A.J. Barner are our best bets. Let me go check what the odds are on those gentlemen. 1 second. Oh, I guess it's on this screen right here. Let's go. Touchdowns. Oh, my computer doesn't like me today. That's great. Let's try Pickett. Here we go. No. OddsJam is being a problem right now. All right, I'm done with this. Barner, touchdown. Plus 240 on Hard Rock and FanDuel. And then the other one was Deebo, is plus 155. I'd say those are pretty good value, actually. And then if you wanted to do, whoa, what is this guy in the chat? Ignore that guy. Don't know what that was about. Parlay those together, you get plus 713 on FanDuel. That's pretty cool. If you wanted to take the quarterback passing touchdowns, those odds would be, where are we? Here we go. Minus 134 for Sam Darnold, plus 115 for Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels has a better matchup. Darnold's most likely just because of the way the team plays in the red zone, I think. Pick your poison. I am honestly open to the idea of taking both quarterbacks and both wide receivers. That would put us at plus 1146. Pretty highly correlated. We'll decide at the end. I like all those options. I'll screenshot that just to make sure we have it and we can come back to it. Real quick before I get into the rest of it, because now we're getting into the rushing and receiving stats. I have a website. Me and JJ have a website, Masterclass Analytics. If you guys want access to it, it's open for the public use. Just either scan the QR code in the bottom right corner of the screen or DM me on Twitter, and I will get you the link to sign up for it. The first week is free. There's some minor bugs we're working on, like the forget password feature, to like send out the email that you need and all that stuff. That stuff we're fixing. But as far as the site itself, 100% usable, 100% helpful. I'm using it. You guys are about to see me use it. So let's start off with the rushing game. And I'm going to start things off with Kenneth Walker. Alex, how we doing? I see you in the chat. Always good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing all right, brother. We got 25 minutes. I only need 15. All right, so let's get to Kenneth Walker because I want to talk about the Seattle run game, and I want to talk about Kenneth Walker when I talk about the Seattle run game. We have him projected 56.7 rush yards. His betting line is 53.5. That's what I got it at. That's actually an official play for me. I think it's going to smack. And I'm going to show you what. This is one of the few plays that I'm not researching live. I did my research on this before the stream, and I absolutely love it. It's an official play for me. Here's why. Rushing attempts, 10 rush attempts every game. You have a very nice floor. If you are winning, we see 13, 16, 19, and 17 attempts, and then a 10 attempt game against Jacksonville. So if you expect the Seahawks to win, the floor is even higher. The other reason I love this play, we go into the opposition stats here. We see that, it already moved into the Arizona slate since the slate started. All right. Washington ranks, if I'm remembering the numbers correctly, it was 23rd in rushing yards per game allowed. So 10th or 11th or 9th, 10th most. And I want to say 19th in rushing yards per carry. The reason I mentioned those numbers specifically is if you look at his game log and the teams he's played, those would be the worst defenses, or worst. This would be the worst or best rushing matchup, I should say, for Kenneth Walker that he's faced so far this season. He's actually faced, especially recently, the 5th, 6th, and 7th best rushing defense in rushing yards per game allowed. In rushing yards per attempt allowed, he's faced the 9th, 7th, and 5th most difficult matchups. And as you can see, he's still over in 4 of 7 games, averaging 61 yards. And if we isolate for those wins, obviously the volume's there. So if I want to filter for some of the top teams, let's say I filter for, what rank does this filter out? If I filter out the top 10 best rushing defenses and rushing yards per game allowed, he's over in 204, but he has an 81 and 100-yard game in there. If I filter out the Saints at the 12th lowest, 2 of 3 with his only miss being week 1 against the 49ers. If I want to go into full game rushing stats and I want to filter out some of the most difficult matchups, that's not what you want to see. I won't lie to you guys. It's not what you want to see. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If we want to look at what previous running backs have done in this matchup, Josh Jacobs only got 55, but Jonathan Taylor got 123. Tony Pollard, 67. This is, never mind. Ignore that. I forgot that's the Arizona part. Because I was looking and I was like, I thought it was better. Let's do this. Running backs, at least 10 rush attempts versus Washington. This is StatMuse. Running backs log. And as you can see, running backs who get at least 10 rushing yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 58 rushing yards. That's a hit. Javonte Williams, 116. DeAndre Swift's not good. He got 106 or 108. Amarian Hampton, 44. It's a rookie. You would like to see better. Algier only got 51, but his running mate, Bijan Robinson, got 75. That's 126 yards between the two of them. Genty, that horrible offensive line, he still got 63. Josh Jacobs, 84. Tyrone Tracy, week 1 with Russell Wilson. I don't really care about that. They got 6 points. I think they got 6 first downs. 24 rush yards there. So the good running backs with this similar volume in this matchup have soared over this line. That's all I'll say about Kenneth Walker. When you have a guy who's going over this line consistently and now gets a better matchup than he's seen all season, I personally like to bet on those guys. You can't take Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet is the passing down and red zone back. That seems to be how they do the split. So I would prefer Kenneth Walker if I want to attack the run game. Now, let's get into the other side of it. And we have, I was blanking on the name for a second, for Bill. Let's go rushing yards for him. What is his line? Let's check that because I don't know it off the top of my head. That's something else that we're adding to the site very soon, is being able to see the betting line on the website. Obviously, we know that is a pretty big thing that people want, and it makes our life that much easier, including mine. And OddsJam seems to want to lag and not load anything right now. Okay, here we go. Nope, never mind. Here we go. Never mind. Now, here we go. 44.5 yards is the betting line right now. So let's move this up to 44.5. And let's show the whole season. We can see he's over in 4 of 8 games. The thing that I think is interesting is if we filter for, I think it's McNichols was the one who was out, right, guys? Was it McNichols? I think it was. And let's do Eckler out. He's over in 3 of 6 games. No, it wasn't McNichols. What's the third running back? I'm blanking on his name, guys. Help me out. There's a third running back in the mix. He missed 2 games, and that was when he coincidentally had his best 2 games. Chris Rodriguez. Oh, I guess never mind. All right, well, he's over in 3 of 6 games. If we look at his rush attempts, 8, 7, 14, 17. You think he's taken over the backfield, and then the last 2 games he's gone right back down to 13 and 9 rush attempts. The usage is not ideal, and we can come check the utilization report on Fantasy Life, and we can see where the Commanders. Here they are. Come on, there we go. The rush attempt share went up to 71% and is now gone down to 57 and 53%. I can tell you right now the red zone share is also down. So I'm definitely not betting him for a touchdown, especially not in this matchup. And if we want to check as far as the rushing efficiency and rushing schemes, we can do that as well. Come on, get out of here. 8:01. We got 10 minutes, guys. We got 10 minutes to get through this. All right, if we want to check the rushing schemes, we can see Washington. They like to run a lot of man gap then. They lean more on the man gap and non-zone looks. I'll say that. As far as the Seahawks, pretty average in outside zone. Pretty average in inside zone usage. 10th highest power rate and looks like the 12th lowest man gap rate. So they're a little bit more spread out. But then we can go to the defensive side. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at red zone. Let me get rid of that and look at that properly. All right. Types. Washington, average and inside zone usage. You want to check outside zone. 3rd lowest. So still with the same idea that they don't use zone concepts much. And then if we want to go to Seattle and do the same thing, we see they don't use inside zone a lot, 10th lowest. Outside zone they use a lot, 8th most. That's something we can work with. And 11th most in man gap scheme. So now this is what I was saying we go to the defense for. Run schemes, we said Seattle used a lot of outside zone scheme. And we see Washington against the outside zone ranks 6th worst in yards per carry. They're allowing the 6th most yards per attempt against the outside zone. For Seattle, we want to look at non-zone schemes. So let's do that. And we see they're the best one in the NFL. So not only do we have a running back that is losing usage, not only do we have a running back that I think is going to lose this game and be in a losing game script, but we also have a running back that is in the worst matchup you could ask for in his specific scheme. So I'm off the Bill Krosky merit wagon for this one. I've been a supporter for him in previous weeks, specifically in primetime weeks. But in this one, I'm off the wagon. I like the Seahawks running matchup. Don't like the Washington rushing matchup. Let's get into the pass game. And let's start with the easy one that everybody wants to talk about. Let's talk about Mr. Jackson Smith-Njigba. His betting line, last I checked, somebody can correct me, was 97.5. That's insane. And although I talked about how Washington is a terrible running defense, they're also a terrible passing defense. And like I said, this is showing Arizona, which is Seattle's matchup next week, The site already updated. It got ahead of itself a little bit. But if we look at Jackson Smith and Jigba against, what number is this? Against the top 11 passing matchups in the NFL, he has had 162, 132, and 103 yards. I can check what Washington's scheme is. But let's see. Is he better against a specific scheme than the other? I mean, he's good against everything, guys. I don't even know why I'm trying to filter the logs. He's fucking insane. If we want to look at air yards, we can do the same thing. Get similar results outside of that Arizona game. The only games he's missed, Arizona and New Orleans. New Orleans allows the 9th lowest air yards. Arizona allows the 6th lowest yards per completion. As far as passing yards per game, Saints are 9th lowest. So, he's done really well in some other good matchups. But in the really good matchups, he's fucking smoked it. And look at this, guys. 215 passing yards as a team against Pittsburgh in this game. This man had 103 of them. Versus Tampa Bay, he had 130 of the team's 380 yards. That was really the only big game. Against Jacksonville, 162 of the 258 games. Elijah makes a good point. New Orleans was a blowout, so you can take that out. Let's actually do this. Let's make our lives easier. Routes run. You can see only 16 routes. We can just filter that out. When he has 20 routes or more in a game, he's cleared this line in every game except for one. And again, that one game came against a team, where is it, that allows the 6th lowest air yards per game. So get him out of here. So I like JSN. Cooper Kupp's out, so we can get into Torrey Horton real quick. And with Cooper Kupp out, let's filter for routes. Let's go 20 plus routes. When he has 20 plus routes, he's over. He has a game with 0 and a game with 39. If we go 18 plus routes. Wow, how does he have 3 games with 0? That's it. So the more he's on the field, it seems the less he's used, which is interesting. But if we go air yards, the air yards are much better, and that's what we can look at against a team that allows a lot of air yards. So let's go check. Let's check 40 plus air yards. He has 0, 10, and 32 yards. No, why is my mouse doing this again? It's not helpful. So I guess it's just how much do you trust Torrey Horton to get the ball? Because that's really the issue. It seems like the air yards are there. I mean, 3 targets in a lot of these games. The air yards are at 2 air yards per route run, it looks like. The opportunity's there. The matchup's there. We haven't projected 27.16 receiving yards. I think his line's around 31.5, so do what you will with that information. I personally like the Torrey Horton play. I'll say the numbers don't. All right, let's do Deebo Samuel real quick, because let's get to the other side. Game's about to start. We're going to be done here in the next 5 minutes. What's the primetime line? We haven't locked it in yet. All right, so Deebo Samuel. Let's do games without Terry McLaurin and with Jaden Daniels. So he's only had 2 games, one against Chicago, one against the Chargers. 24 air yards, 104 air yards. 40 air yards against Chicago, 30 against the Chargers. He was dealing with that knee injury, and I feel like that Chicago game was the first time we saw it on the decline, and then he had to sit that next week. So I'm going to say that that's what happened, because I don't really like any other explanation that I feel like would make sense. In that Chargers game, he had 5 of his 11 targets were deeper targets, which is not normally the case for him. So I actually do like that process. Seahawks are a really good run defense. We did talk about that. So what I'll do is let me remove the Terry side, or the Terry being out, keep it on Jaden. And let me look at games where they're outmatched on the running side, because then they would obviously look to use the passing game more. Rushing yards per game allowed. It looks like they faced a decent amount of good rushing defenses, or good rushing matchups, I should say. If we remove some of the best ones, where you'd have to pass more, he had 96 against the Chargers, 44 against Green Bay. If we check rushing yards per attempt allowed, man, they've had mainly good rushing matchups. I'm starting to really like Debo in this one, if that's the case. I think my two favorite props in this one would be Debo overs, McNichols under, or not McNichols, Krosky Merritt unders, Kenneth Walker overs. I'll say this with JSN. I wouldn't take his full game line over, but his longest reception could be interesting if I can find where that was. Because let's see. His targets as of late. Oh my God, that's so many targets. So he's had 2 or more deep targets in every game this season. 10 deep targets in his last 2 games. And they're coming off the bye, so you know they're scheming up something juicy for him. And there's no Cooper Kupp. I guess the only flip side of that would be no Cooper Kupp. They'd send Torrey Horton for more deep routes and Chase sent for more shallow routes. But I'm not the coach. That's just, I'm giving you all the angles I can. Do we like Darnold under 29.5 attempts? I do, because I think one of two things is going to happen. Either it's such a good passing matchup that they're just going to get 20, 30-yard chunks, and every good drive is still only going to be like 3 or 4 throws. On the other side of it, the running game is also a good matchup, so they could just run it every play. Oh, that brings me to the other thing that I didn't get to put on the screen for you guys. Last thing, I promise, and then we're going to start making the parlay. Pass rate over expected. This is where you find out whether teams are run heavy or pass heavy, what they do compared to expectations. The Seahawks are coming into this week before the Panthers just did nothing but run the ball today. They were second lowest in pass rate over expected. So they want to lean on the run as much as they can. So, yep, that is the whole spiel. Let's get into this parlay. So, as far as the game pick, the one that I like the most, I think the Seahawks are the better team. I'm starting to become a Sam Darnold believer. It's not a coincidence he's done it with 2 different teams. JSN's fucking ridiculous. It's a really good matchup for them, something that they haven't had much in the run game at all. The other side of it is there's a system when an away favorite is in PrimeTime and has a rest advantage. They're 38-3 on the money line, 28-12 against the spread. Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites. I like it. So I'm gonna put Seahawks. I'm gonna put Seahawks money line in the parlay. And then for the touchdown bet, our options were Sam Darnold 1.5 passing touchdowns. Which, let me check something then. Quarterbacks log versus Washington. The quarterbacks with the quarterback logs for touchdowns. Wilson had 0, doesn't count. Jordan Love 2, Geno Smith 2, Penix 2. Herbert only had 1. That whole game was a shit show. I remember that. Only 1 for Caleb Williams. He had a rushing touchdown in that game, I believe. Dak Prescott had 3. Mahomes had 3. So let's take Darnold passing touchdowns as the second leg of it. So Seahawks money line, Sam Darnold 2+ passing touchdowns. And then for the prop, we're between Deebo Samuel and Kenneth Walker. I already have Kenneth Walker as a main play, so I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want to double dip, or would you rather go with either JSN or Deebo on the other side? Because I'm good either way, personally. Sorry, I'm getting the odds for all this together right now. So you guys let me know. Deebo receiving yards, JSN receiving yards, or we stick with the official play that I already have a straight pick on, which is Kenneth Walker rushing yards. Oh, we got the chat wants JSN. Okay. Very confidently, they let that go off rip. If anybody is against JSN, oh, now it's tied. No, it's 2-1. We got 2 JSNs, 1 Deebo. Either way, it sounds like it's going to be a receiving prop. So JSN's 97.5 receiving yards on ESPN. Deebo is 51.5. I think Washington wins tonight. Got to say I disagree, but at least I know if I'm not right, somebody else is getting money. We got 2 JSNs, 2 Deebos. Ooh, we need a tiebreaker. You guys got 1 minute, and then I'm flipping a coin. We got Doth says Troy Horton season. I don't hate the Troy Horton angle at all. I really don't. 2 JSNs, 2 Debos, 1 Kenneth Walker. JSN. All right, that's the tiebreaker. JSN receiving yards. That puts us at plus 315 on DK. Let's see what the boost gets us to. JSN going for 200. I love it. He probably will, honestly. Oh, it has to be 4 legs to get the boost on DraftKings. That's so stupid. I hate when they do that. God, the odds are significantly worse on FanDuel, so I don't want to do that. Let's add JSN, like whatever the lowest receptions possible are, because he's going to have to get that for the 300 anyways. All right, so the parlay is Seahawks money line, JSN, 100 receiving yards or 99 receiving yards, sorry. Whatever the lowest receptions you can get it in, just so we can make it 4 legs. They won't let us do, man. All right, we're just going to do the lowest possible for Sam Darnold then. 150 plus. Why can't it be parlay? Jesus Christ. This is not helpful. All right, we're going to do Kenneth Walker for whatever the lowest is then. Surely they'll let us do that. 25 rush yards. Let's go. All right, it's going to be plus 450. No way they're letting me put a full unit on this. Okay, I'll take it. Plus 450. I'll get this on the screen right now. Locked it in on my phone. Let's get it on my computer. Here we go. Can everybody see? Let me make myself smaller so everybody can see. Let's go. We're locked in. Seahawks, money line. Walker, we just needed a 4th leg for the odds. Darnold passing touchdowns. JSN receiving yards. I love it. Good luck, guys. I'm going to send this out to the Discord. And let's get to cooking. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Seriously, you guys, I know it was a rough day. I know you guys did not have to tune in. I know everybody's got different methods of making money, and whether they tell me or everybody or just wanted to come for some ball talk, but I'm glad I could be of help. We got Daniels over 7.5 rush attempts. I actually really like I like the discipline of the Seahawks defensive line. So it depends how much design work they want to give him. That's what I'll say. What other questions we got? I missed quite a few by a single leg. You guys want to see the worst beat? Where is this? Where's the Discord? I don't know when the next time I'll have a beat this bad is. Here we go. Just real quick so you guys can see my demise. JMO, 60 plus receiving yards, green. Kyle Monangai, 90 plus rush yards, green. Trayvon Henderson, 60 plus rush yards, green. Until he got a negative 8-yard rush, finished at 55, and I lost this parlay. I was pissed. To have this come after the way I lost Ladd McConkey, 56 yards a half. I need 3 more, and he drops a 6-yarder and never gets another reception the rest of the game. I was pissed. David Montgomery gets the 12th rush attempt, blocking the back from Jameson Williams. Doesn't get another rush attempt. Pissed. What was the other one? There was 2 other bad ones. Alvin Kamara, I need 3 receptions, drops the second one, fumbles it on the next drive, doesn't come back in the game. There was one more. What was it? I was pissed. It might have been. Oh, Tyler Warren becomes the first tight end since 2020 to have 4 targets in the first quarter and not have 10 receiving yards. So that was great. Back to the primetime parlay. Seahawks money line. Kenneth Walker, 25 plus rush yards. Sam Darnold, 2 pass touchdowns. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 99 plus receiving yards. With the boost is plus 450. I don't know why DK would do this mistake. They let me put a full unit on it. Usually, actually, up until like 2 weeks ago, they only let me put like $10, if that. Not even just promos, just any bet. For whatever reason, the last like 2-3 weeks, they let me go up to 100, which was a big mistake. I mean, me and JJ off those boosts alone have probably made like, let's look at my account actually. I could take a look. So since I was so limited, I didn't have that much in there. I got 15 units in there now because the straights they still limit me on for what it's worth. I can't get more than if it's close to game time, they'll let me put like $40. If I'm getting it the opening line, $7 if I'm lucky. The fact that let me put 100 on this, oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take that. But yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got the games about to start, so I'm about to sign off here. I'll answer any last minute questions. Sorry. Need a Commanders prop, Debo receiving yards. If you can still get that in, maybe you can live bet it. Ertz over receptions or Debo over receiving yards. I prefer Debo. I see the appeal with Ertz though. Personally, I do 50% on unit on your plays and 50% on my own picks or ideas. That's fine with me. Like there's some cappers that like they'll be offended if you're like, oh, you should only tail me, or oh, you tail this guy. I don't like this. I don't care. I'm here as a resource. If you want to take my advice or not, it's not up to me. It's up to you. If I'm doing well, you don't take my advice. It's not my fault. It's your fault. If I'm not doing well, you don't take my advice. Good for you. I don't want if I have a bad day and I'm losing money, I don't want you losing money with me. I want to be the only one in pain on my bad days, but I want everybody celebrating with me on the good days. So, if you take my place, if you don't take my place, if you only take some, if you take all of them, fine by me. The only difference is you guys absorb my content. But the reality is I'm a sports gambler. I'm a part of the community just as much as anybody else. I'm nobody special. So you guys do as you please. I'm here to help you guys out. And it's always good to see people making money, whether it's from me or from themselves. I'm the ultimate hype man when it comes to the gambling community. Let's see. Did the NFL actually start on time? No, they haven't started the game yet. Wow. So you guys might still be able to get these bets in. That's crazy. I should have sent this to the Discord sooner. Oh, we didn't make a true lotto though. Maybe we still can. Maybe we still can. Let's see. Maybe we can live bet it. Let me put in that touchdown parlay. How about that? Plus. Oh, they'll let me do Debo and Barner. They won't let me do it in a parlay though. That's fucked. Live lotto. I'm here for it. Let me cook something up real quick. I got you. I think FanDuel's giving a 25% live boost. We can do it right at kickoff. I'm in. Let's do this shit. Good call. If you're still in here, we got one more coming. I promise. It is a live play. I know it's supposed to be a live play. That's what we get the boost for. So let's cook real quick. So we got Barner touchdown. I want to do Kenny for 80 yards. Let's do that. What does it give me? Plus 235. Wonderful. Let's do Seahawks minus 6.5. Let's take an alt line. How about that? Seahawks minus 6.5. Beautiful. So right now we're sitting at plus 1283. I want one more. I want a true lotto. Actually, let's see. Where's the boost? So we can get plus 1603. Do we like plus 1603? You got a 50% live boot, Alex? I'm fucking jealous. I only get 25%. I just don't like Arabs, man. It's racist over here. Yeah, do we want to stop? Let's not get greedy. Let's lock this in. Plus 1635. What do they want to limit me at? Half a unit? I'll take it. We're locked in. I'll get it on the screen for you guys. It was on DK. Yeah. Oh, damn. I should have checked on DK. Well, I'm already locked in on FanDuel. It's got cooler graphics anyways. So when it hits, it'll look cool on Twitter, I guess. That's the annoying. Bro, there are cappers. That's one thing that I don't talk about enough. There are cappers that will voluntarily take worse odds solely for the fact that FanDuel slips go viral more. There's some that don't do it for that reason. Like I know Camden Caps, he's a dog. He's been killing it this season, by the way. So if you don't follow him, you should. But he focuses on FanDuel and DraftKings because he knows those are the most widely available ones. I'm not talking about him. But there are other cappers, mainly like the clickbait parlay ones that target like 3 players to get a triple-double who aren't going to get a triple-double. They will actively take worse prices, significantly worse prices, just because of the FanDuel UI on the screenshot. It's kind of disgusting practice. Let's get the lotto up here. Here we go. All right. So I'll leave that up for a minute and then I am going to sign off for real this time. I know I was saying that earlier. Some of you guys might have left. And if you missed the lotto, then I apologize. But regardless, yeah. All right. That's it from me. Hope you guys have a great Sunday night. Hopefully better than the day because Lord knows it wasn't the best day if you were tailing me, and I apologize sincerely. Alex, good to see you as always. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the game. Me and JJ will be back. We'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.